All right, guys, welcome back to our next to our second session, and we stopped off previously while working on exercise number 5 in the grammar. I just want to finish it off. Okay, we had finished until number 3. Okay, all the way to number 3, and I need to continue back up and finish that exercise off so that you guys are able to do your homework, and I'm confident that you guys know what we are doing. Okay. So back here again, we're going to continue number 4. This is where we stopped off last time.
Miss, may I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
And number 3, wasn't it supposed to be also the ugliest of gods? Can you hear me? Miss, you're on mute.
Oh, okay, 1 second. Yes, hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so ugliest, ugly is an adjective. We need to understand and keep in mind that usually that a participle is a verb, okay? Known, all right? Bathing, walking, eating, okay? They're verbs. However, ugly is a pure adjective. It's not a verb. It's not a verb. So ugly is an actual adjective. It's not, it cannot be a participle, okay? So ugliest is a superlative adjective when we use it to compare to the next level, okay? When you compare one against many, it's a superlative adjective. So remember participles, what make them, and first of all, you need to also understand and ask yourself that we need to always see it's ending in ing or ed or an irregular. But ugliest is a superlative. Uglier, ugliest, okay? It's a superlative adjective. So it cannot be a participle. Okay, does that answer your question, Yaruji?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, honey. All right, next, let's go to number 4. Any volunteers to answer number 4? Let's go with Hannah Durghaim, please. Number 4, Mars, known to the Greeks as Ares, was the god of war.
Known to the Greeks of Ares.
Good job. Known to the Greeks as Ares is my participle phrase.
And known is the participle.
Known is the participle. Good job. And which tense is it in?
Past participle.
It's in the past participle. It's in the past participle. Good job. No, it's known is in the irregular. Okay, know, knew, And known. Known is in the irregular form. Okay, in the irregular form. Okay, now let's continue to again. It's an irregular form. All right, that means it's in the past participle. All right. Now, give me the modifiers that go with it. Known to the Greeks as Aries. So, what kind of modifiers do I have?
Prepositional phrase.
Good job. Which is the first one? The first one is to the Greeks, and the second one is
As Aries.
as Aries. So we have two prepositional phrases acting as modifiers. Good job. Number 5. Let's go with Yusuf, please. All right. Terrified by Aries' power. Many Greeks did not. And first of all, number 4. Sorry, Hannah Durghem. Before we move on, can you tell me the noun that it modifies? What does it describe? Known to the Greeks
Mars.
as Aries. It describes Mars. Good, because this
Mars.
is the noun that it modifies. Thank you, Yusuf. Okay, back to you, honey. Terrified by Aries' power, many Greeks did not like to worship him. So what do we have? Where's my participle phrase?
Terrified by Aries' power.
Terrified by Aries' power, and it modifies who? Who's terrified by Aries' power?
Greeks.
The Greeks. Good job. Okay, and what is my participle?
Terrified.
And it's in which tense?
Past tense.
Good. And what is my modifier?
By Aries' power.
Which is what? What kind of modifier is it?
Phrase.
A prepositional phrase. Thank you so much, Yusuf. Number 6, let's go with Maya, please. Go ahead, Maya. They saw both land and people destroyed by him.
Destroyed by him is the participle phrase.
Good job. Destroyed by him is the participle phrase. And who does it describe?
People.
Good job. All right. And what is my participle itself?
By him.
The participle itself.
Destroyed.
Destroyed. And which tense is it in?
Past.
Good job. All right. The participle itself is destroyed. Okay. And in which tense is it in? It's in the past. What kind of modifier do I have with my participle, Maya?
A direct object.
By him, by the beach, by the pool.
Sorry. A prepositional phrase.
It's a prepositional phrase, okay? By him is a prepositional phrase. Thank you, Maya. Number 7, let's go with Ali. Ali, number 7, observing his grim path, they said that Aries left blood, devastation, and grief behind him.
Observing his grim path.
Good job. Observing his grim path is my prepositional phrase. Who does it describe?
They.
It describes they. Good. Okay. And what is the participle itself?
Observing.
Which tense is it in?
Present.
Oh, good. And what kind of modifiers do I have?
His grim path. It's direct object.
Direct object. The path is a direct object. His is a possessive pronoun, and grim is an adjective describing the kind of path. Okay, so this whole thing is a participle phrase, and my modifier is a direct object, and I have adjectives and a possessive pronoun between, okay, which is fine. Thanks, Yali. Number 8, let's go with Kinsey.
Having great respect for Mars.
Having great respect for Mars.
Phrase.
Good job. What does it modify?
Will modify the Romans.
It modifies the Romans. All right, which one is my participle itself?
Having.
Having, okay. This is the participle. Which tense is it in?
Present.
Good. What are my modifiers in this participle phrase?
A great respect for Mars. There will be adverb phrase.
Again, take it one step at a time. Having great respect for Mars. What is my first modifier? What are you having? What are the Romans having? They're having what?
A great respect.
So what is great respect? I'm having chocolate. What am I having? Chocolate. Having great respect.
Will be
what are you having?
D-O?
Good.
will
So
be
great
DO.
respect is my direct object. Great is an adjective describing respect. Respect is my direct object. Who do you have respect
And
for? For Mars
will
is
be
my
preposition phrase.
good job. So I have two
Preposition
modifiers.
phrase.
I have a direct object and a prepositional phrase. Good job. Thank you. All right. Number 9. Let's go with Khadija. Number 9, Khadija. They imagined him dressed in shining armor.
Imagined him dressed in shining armor.
They is my subject. Imagined is my verb. They imagined. Imagined is my verb. Imagined him dressed in shining armor. Where is my participle? How am I using a verb as an adjective in the sentence?
Imagined is a participle. Miss, can you hear me?
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so here again, it says they imagined him dressed in shining armor. So how do you, where's the participle? Imagined is the verb.
Imagined him dressed. Well,
Who can help Khadija?
Miss, can I help her?
Sure.
It's supposed to be dressed in the shining armor.
Dressed in shining armor, bravo, good. Who's that describe? Who's dressed in shining armor?
Him.
Him, bravo, okay. And what kind of participle? Which one is the participle, Yaluji?
Dressed.
And which tense is it in?
Past tense.
And which and what kind of modifier do I have?
A prepositional phrase.
Good job, in shining armor. So together I have a participle phrase, Khadija. Dressed is the participle. It's a verb acting as an adjective describing him. It's in the past tense. And with it, I have a participle, a prepositional phrase that is a modifier. Okay, number 10, let's go with Hannah Hamdi, please. Mars, supposedly the father of the founders of Rome, okay, has a plant named after him.
Supposedly the father of the founders of Rome.
That's not a participle. Okay,
No.
the father is a father is a noun.
Has a planet named after him.
Okay, so give me the participle. How are you
Has?
describing the planet? No, has is a verb, guys.
Okay, a planet. It's named
How
after.
is the planet described? 1 second. How is the planet described?
Named.
That it's named, well, named after him.
After him.
So named after him is the participle. Describing who?
A planet.
Describing the planet. Okay, so here my participle is named after him. My participle phrase is named after him. The participle alone is?
Named.
Named. And which tense is it in, Hannah?
Past.
And what kind of modifier do I have? What is after him?
Prepositional phrase.
It's a prepositional phrase. Perfect. Okay, so together, named after him is my participle phrase, okay, consisting of a participle plus a modifier describing planet. Now, supposedly the father of the founders of Rome cannot be a participle phrase because, again, father here is describing Mars. Father is a noun. Okay, you cannot describe well, you can, but this is called an appositive phrase, because an appositive phrase is a noun describing a noun. It's like when I say Hannah, a student at PIS, okay, then I'm describing Hannah as a student. So the word student here cannot be a participle because it's not a verb, okay? And we agreed that what makes participles different or unique is that they're verbs used as adjectives, okay? So thank you guys for answering that, all right? And the next thing that I wanna share with you is your weekly plan. If you guys look at the weekly plan, you guys have homework today, inshallah, which will be grammar workbook. That's going to be page 77 to 78. Excuse me? Fadia, did you say something?
I can't find it on Smart School. Yes,
You need to go to weekly plan. There's a weekly plan tab where you can find your weekly plans.
I did.
All right. If it's there, maybe we can. Maybe if any, is anyone struggling to find the weekly plan, or is it only Fadia?
Me too, miss. I cannot find the weekly plan.
Did anyone see the weekly plan? Any students here? No, none of you guys found the weekly plan.
Yes, I found it.
Okay, Ahmed Rashwan, please send it to in your group on the WhatsApp group that you have. If you can please send it to them so that they could have it. Maybe you guys are facing some technical difficulty, those who couldn't. And if you are, please contact Mr. Haitham and let him be aware that you cannot find the weekly plan, okay? Because there's probably something technical that you're facing, a technical issue. All right, so Ahmed Rashwan, please post it for the group so that they could see it as well. So again, remember, tomorrow is your rough draft. Your rough draft for the employment ad is due. Okay, that means you guys are gonna share screen tomorrow with me and show me how you typed it and what you have so far. And we're gonna do something called peer review, where we look at your document together, and we're going to find any mistakes in the grammar, punctuation, capitalization. We are also going to revise it for ideas and see how you broke it down and what kind of information you've provided in your ad. And then we're going to also review vocab from Act 1. You guys had the last 3 words for homework. We're going to go over them together. And then we're going to answer some questions on vocab, okay? So please be ready tomorrow. I'm going to call on anyone. And if you're not ready to screen share with me, you're losing points, half your mark. You're losing it for not doing the rough draft, okay? So tomorrow, anyone, I'm calling on random people to share their documents with me. If you're unable to share, you're losing half your mark because half of it is a rough draft that is due tomorrow. Okay, so please have that done and prepared for tomorrow's session. Okay, today I needed to highlight Ahmed Rashwan, when you saw the weekly plan. Again, I told you that Act 1 is long. We divided it into pages. Okay, there's pages that we started off, and then we finished from 263 to 167. We just finished that. So today we're going to pick up from page 268. Now for homework, I put here previously to do study guide questions of 263 to 267, but I'm changing that because we didn't do questions on the second set of 5 pages. So the homework is going to change to do the study guide tonight for the miracle worker for pages 258 to 266. You guys will find it in your the miracle worker folder, and I'm going to also upload it as an assignment. And this assignment is going to be due on, inshallah, I'm going to mark it to be due on Tuesday. Okay, so I'm going to mark it to be due on Tuesday on assignments. So the pages just changed. You're going to work on a study guide questions, but only for pages 258 to 262. We finished 263 to 267. I'm going to post that later, okay, so that we can focus on each group of pages at once. Okay, I have hands raised. Are these questions? If you have a question, keep your hand raised. Ahmed, تفضل.
It's not me, the like ثانية كده. مش أنا مثلا اللي said I have the weekly plan. We cannot see it.
It's not you?
Yes.
So who said it?
It was a mistake.
Who said it?
Adam. Yes, but
guys,
I thought that was the wrong one. Adam said.
Yes, you saw it or no?
No, it's the one from the last week.
All right, when you guys go on weekly to see the weekly plan, do you go to the weekly plan folder in library, or do you go to the weekly plan tab on the side?
No,
library.
Into the library, okay.
Then we have weekly plan term 2 and term 3. So
yeah, but I need you guys to now they want you guys to get it for from the actual weekly plan tab on the side. I'm going to post it now for you guys on the actual the way that you get it, but you can find it from the weekly plan tab on the side. This is where we upload them. All right, so this is what they told us to upload them where. So I'm going to post them now for you guys here again. Weekly plan, I'm going to post it right now where you guys in the folder that you that you said about right now, that you told me about. All right, so that you guys could see it. Mhm. Okay, it's posted, so you guys should be able to see it from there. All right, and again, you could also see the questions, the question sheet for homework, and the pages that you guys are going to do for homework for grammar today are as follows. All right, so the worksheet that you guys are going to do, number one is the worksheet for pages 258 to 262. We finished those already, and for homework, you're going to do page 77 in the grammar book is about participles, and page 78 is about participle phrases. Okay, and 79 we'll do together as a review. Okay, so let's stop here. And now let's go to sharing the screen with the miracle worker. All right, we stopped last time at page 267, and we discussed the idea of Mr. Keller and Kate. They were both, having a conversation over the idea of Annie, and they were criticizing her or ridiculing her as they see her, or especially Mr. Keller, that she's not fit for to be Helen's governess. All right, what are some comments or what are some issues that they see are as wrong with Annie? All right, what are some issues that they see is wrong with Annie? Go ahead, please, Judy.
That she's a young and she's young infant.
Okay, so number one, the big issue here is her age. Okay, age is definitely an issue that they're concerned about because they believe that she is too young to be to be suitable for this position. What else is another concern, Maya?
Mr. Keller calls Annie rough, which means like she's from a poor social class.
Okay, good. So he's also criticizing that she is from a poorer from a more a less social standard. So maybe that's also one of his concerns. Good. What else, Nano? What is another concern that he has?
She's blind.
That she was also she's not blind, but she also had a history of being blind, or her eyesight is not that great. She faces difficulty. She still has some side effects from her previous illness, all right, which is the trachoma that she had. All right, so she still has some negative side effects from that leaves her eyesight or eyes hurting. And this is why she's dressed in these glasses. And this is his comment. He's like, I like to see the eyes of the person that I'm talking to, and he doesn't see her eyes because she's wearing these glasses because of her issue, because of her eyesight. So again, he sees that she's young, she's already blind. So how can a blind person help another blind person? And another one of his concerns is that again, she looks like she's from a lower social standard, and the age. Okay, and also he is also one thing that that he's also made comment about is the fact that she's from the north. Okay, and this is one of the issues that we discussed due to the after the Civil War. This was one of the concerns. Okay, there was some rivalry between the north and the south, and he keeps referring to her as someone from the north. All right, so here let's divide the roles. Kate, you're going to be please Fadia. Fadia, you're going to be Kate. Keller is going to be Ahmed Rashwan. James is going to be Yusuf. Okay, and the narrator is going to be Judy. Okay, so let's pick up, okay, from page 268 here with me on screen. Let's go ahead. Kate, she was a pupil. Go ahead, Kate.
Miss, where do we start?
She was a pupil.
So is anyone talking?
I'm waiting for Fadia to read. Fadia, if you're unable to read with us, I'm gonna have to, sorry, but I'm going to have to ask Hannah Hamdi, please, can you pick up Kate? We can't hear you, honey.
So can you hear me this way?
Yes, we can hear you this way. Can you please pick up the reading?
She was pupil.
She was a pupil. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Judy. Heavily.
Heavily.
Miss Judy's talking, but her voice is
She's the narrator. Yeah, heavily. Go ahead. Oh, where's Keller?
Me. Katie.
Okay,
Katie.
Ahmed,
This is your first position.
Right voice.
She was valedictorian.
Here's a household full of grown-ups. Can cope with a child. How can an experienced, half-blind Yankee schoolgirl manage her?
James moved in with the trunk on his shoulder. Eagerness.
A great improvement. Now we have two of them to look after.
You look after those strawberry plants.
James stops with the trunk. Keller turns from him without another word and marches off.
Okay, so let's stop here. When we discuss here is a household full of grown-ups, and we cannot cope with the child. And here we have he says here, and here we have a half-blinded Yankee schoolgirl manage her. And the word Yankee, please in your notes, make note that the word Yankee is used to refer to people from the north. Okay, the Southerners, they use the word Yankee to refer to people from the north. So again, here he's mentioning his concerns that she's half blind and she's from the north, and he really doubts or highly doubts that she can handle Helen. Okay, and of course here we see again James' criticism and his sarcasm. Okay, and he says great improvement. Okay, of course this is verbal irony. Okay, he thinks that this is not, well, he's saying that this is a great improvement. And of course, while his father is pointing out flaws in Annie, and now he's saying now we have two of them to look after. That means instead of one blind person, which is Helen alone, now we have to take care of Helen, and we have to take care of Annie along. Okay, so he's being again sarcastic. Okay, James, did James read the line, nothing I say is right?
Nothing I say is right.
Won't say anything.
She calls.
Don't be long, Captain. We'll have supper right now.
She goes into the house and through the rear door of the family room. James trudges in with the trunk, takes it up the steps to Annie's room, and sets it down outside the door. The lights elsewhere dim somewhat. Meanwhile, inside, Annie has given Helen a key. While Annie removes her bonnet.
Right,
Helen
this is the hair. Okay, this is the hair that the women you wore it to cover their hair. Okay, so here we know that Annie is in her room and Helen is with her, because we know that Helen was fascinated with the luggage, but she was unable to open it because the luggage is locked, or the suitcase is locked. All right, so we see here Annie and Helen are in Annie's room. Okay, this is the room that the Kellers have given her to accommodate her. Oh, this is where she'll be sleeping and spending the rest of her stay. Okay, she has Helen with her in the room, and she has provided Helen with a key, okay, to unlock or to open up the suitcase. And we see that Helen here is able. Okay, go ahead, Judy, read it. Helen unlocks.
Helen unlocks and opens the suitcase. The first thing she pulls out is a voluminous shawl.
Okay, let's be careful of what Helen is doing. Okay, so Helen, she was given a key. Okay, Annie gave her a key, and she successfully was able to open the suitcase, and now she's pulling out Annie's belongings. The first thing that she took out is a shawl. All right, a shawl, something that women wear around their shoulders. Okay, continue. She fingers it until
she perceives what is it, what it is.
What it is.
Then
All right, that means she uses her senses. She touches it until she's able to realize that it's a shawl. Then she
wraps it around her finger,
around her.
And acquiring Annie's bonnet,
Uh-huh.
and small glasses as well. Dons the lot, the shawl swamps her, and the bonnet settles down upon the glasses. But she stands before a mirror, cocking her head to one side, then to the other. In a mockery of adult action, Annie is amused and talks to her as one might to a kitten, with no trace of company manners.
Go ahead, Annie. Who's Annie? We haven't assigned an Annie, correct? All right, yes, go ahead, please.
All the trouble I went to, and that's how I look.
All right, so here we know that Helen picks up items from the suitcase and she puts them on. And now who does she look like? Who is she dressed like? She's dressed like? Who is she dressed like?
Annie.
She's dressed like Annie, exactly. All right. So Annie here is trying to, she's being a bit humorous, and she's saying, she's basically saying that this is how I look. So she's being a little funny, or she's amused by what Helen is doing. All right. Helen, then go ahead, Judy.
Helen then comes back to the suitcase, gropes for more, lifts out a pair of female drawers.
Good job.
Oh,
all right.
Oh no, not the drawers.
But Helen, discarding them, comes to the elegant doll. Her fingers explore its features, and when she raises it and finds its eyes open and close, she is at first startled, then delighted. She picks it up, taps its head vigorously, taps her own chest, and nods questioningly. Annie takes her finger, points it to the doll, points it to Helen, and touching it to her own face, also nods. Helen sits back on her heels, grasps the doll to herself, and rocks it. Annie studies her, still in a bonnet. How is it pronounced?
A bonnet.
A bonnet. Okay. And smoked glasses like a
caricature
of herself, and addresses her humorously.
All right, Miss Sylvian, let's begin with doll.
Okay, so here, Miss Annie Sylvian, all right, she is referring to Annie as, remember, she's talking to Helen, but she's calling her what? She's calling her Miss O'Sullivan. Let's begin with doll. So we see here that the first word that she's trying to teach her, or is going to try to teach her, is the word doll. And what is she trying to teach her, guys? She's trying to teach her that each object has a name. Okay, she's trying to teach her the concept of language, okay, of self-expression. All right, remember, Helen has no idea that anything has a name. She's going by her senses, the sense of touch, the sense of smell. All right, if her mom wants to feed her something, she'll make her sniff it, and then she'll know what she's about to eat. All right, but does she know that this is cake, or that it's called cake? No. All right, and this is the key of her frustration, that she's unable to tell them what she wants or to even express her needs, okay? And she doesn't even know what is around her. But by sensing things, like when she touched the shawl, she was able to understand that this is a shawl, and she was able to put it around her shoulders. She knows that this is where it goes, okay? But does she know that this item is called a shawl? No. She know when she's holding the doll and she's playing with it, she knows that it should have a face, that it has eyes, and that the eyes are blinking, opening and closing, and this is making her happy and excited for the doll. She's rocking it and patting it like a baby. Okay, she knows how to do all these things, but does she know that this item has a word, or it's called a doll? Does she know the idea of language? No. So here we see that they are clicking, or we see here that it's whatever is happening is foreshadowing good things. Why? Because again, we see that number one, Helen is dressing like Miss Sullivan. All right. So this is a good way to foreshadow that, that maybe Helen will be able to overcome her blindness the same way that Annie did. Okay. Number two, we see that when Annie is addressing or speaking to Helen, she actually refers to her as O'Sullivan or Miss Sullivan. So she's talking to Helen as if she is talking to herself, which shows that Annie is reminded, or she sees herself in Helen. Okay, because remember, this is exactly the same condition that Helen went through. She was also a blind child. Okay, and she was able to overcome that disability, and she was able to learn language. All right. So we need to understand here that copying Helen copying Annie's dressing style and looking like her is foreshadowing that maybe she'll be able to overcome and become good like Annie. And also we see Annie referring to Helen using her own name, shows that Annie is taking this personal. She's taking Helen's condition personal because, again, Helen is reminding her of herself and the struggles that she went through as a young child. Okay, being blind as well. Okay, so please be very careful from this quote and from her actions here when she was dressing like her. Okay, go ahead, Judy. She takes Helen's hand.
She takes Helen's hand in her palm. Annie's forefinger points.
The forefinger is your pointer finger, the one that you point with. Your pointer finger is your forefinger, the first one. And what does she do? So she's holding Helen's hand, and the palm of the hand is the inside of your hand, the palm. Okay, not the outside, but the inside of your hand is the palm of your hand. So she's taking Helen's palm, and what is she doing to it? Go ahead, continue. She's using what?
Thumb holding her other fingers clenched.
What does she do? She puts? Annie,
D.
go ahead.
D.
D. Her thumb.
Her thumb next holds all her fingers clenched, touching Helen's palm.
O.
Her thumb and forefinger extend.
L.
Same contact, repeated.
L.
L. So what is she spelling in her palm? What is she spelling in her palm? The
Doll.
word? The word doll, okay? And she's teaching her the letters, okay? D, O, L. Imagine, I want you to take your palm and to spell the word doll in your palm and close your eyes. Okay, this is what she's doing, using your finger. Okay, close your eyes. And this is how she's going to teach her. She's going to write D in the palm, O, L, L. All right. So this is going to be the sign language, or the language that she's going to teach her every time. And Annie. What does Helen have to do? She's gonna have to learn these movements. Okay. She's gonna have to do the movement of the D and the movement of the O, the movement of the L and the L. Every time she wants a doll, she's going to pick up someone's hand. Let's say she's gonna go to her mama. Her mom's hand, Kate's hand, and she's going to take the hand of, or the palm of her mother's hand, and she's going to put D-O-L-L. All right, that means that she wants a doll. If she wants cake, she's going to take somebody's palm. It could be Vinny's, it could be Annie's, and she's going to put C-A-K-E for cake. Okay, so she's doing this to teach her what? To teach her that each object has a name. Okay, and this is the idea of language. Okay, words to describe things. All right, so she does that to her. This is how Annie is dressed. Of course, here this is where she is dressed like Annie Sullivan. All right, we're gonna stop here because we have less than a minute. It's on page 269. We're gonna pick up the reading on Tuesday, inshallah. Don't forget, guys, you have your animal farm. I hope that you guys are reading it, and you have a study guide that is due on Wednesday, okay, to be submitted. All right, so please do your reading. Don't forget to do the study guide that's due on Tuesday. I'm going to post it on assignments and your grammar pages for tonight, okay? Thank you. And
Miss, is the rough
yes.
draft due tomorrow?
Yes, I'm going to pick random random students to share screen. And remember, if you're not going to share your screen with me tomorrow and show it to me, you're losing half the mark. Half the grade is going to be lost. No excuses, no
Miss, can I
exceptions.
say show what?
Say that again.
Show what?
Your